talking basketball. They're fucking dumb as shit. They don't know basketball, but they will make dumb ass jokes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pod Don't Lie with Sam and Stav. Right after the fucking first weekend of the playoffs, our dicks are at full mast right now. Things are fucking moving. They're shaking. We love you guys so much that I am straight off the fucking jet yet again for a Pod Don't Lie After Dark. I got the rain on my fucking glasses from the JFK cab line. That's how fucking right off the jet I am.
Respect for sticking with the yellow cabs, though. Those
I'm a fucking yellow cab guy. What can I say?
Man.
What can I say?
Yeah.
I do like the yellow cab, especially from the airport. It's like, let me just remove all thinking. I get in the line. I just fucking,
I love it.
Anyway, it's been a great weekend of basketball. I have had a great weekend myself. Both of us had good weekends on. We were both in NBA cities this weekend. I was in Toronto. You were in Utah. You were in Salt Lake.
Utah, I got to tell you, man, they were real cocky. They came in like, I honestly was like, I didn't know if they were going to win that first game.
Yeah.
Like, that was a tight first game because, future Nick Donovan Mitchell just did not show up in the first half. Second half, he was balling. And I got to say, Bogdanovich brought the fucking fury. That guy can hoop. He's a good player.
Yeah. Did you see Rudy's little bitch ass tantrum at him, which is like, I know he lost that guy on that screen, but it's like, come on, man, he's playing good. It's like,
yeah, Rudy, you're in a $200 million contract and you score 8 points in important games. Why don't you? I understand that you changed the game defensively, but like, so does Marcus Smart. He's making a fourth of what you make.
Yeah, exactly.
So and Marcus Smart will give you some offense.
Listen. Marcus Smart, I have my own thought. We can get into the defensive player.
We'll get into the defensive player of the year later, but I just had to throw it in there. A little extra dig at Rudy.
Fuck Rudy, of course, but
sure.
Marcus Smart as DPOY just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Anyway, we'll talk about it.
I'm here to take the other side of it because as a PDL co-host, I have to. Someone has to argue the other side, so I'm ready.
I suppose you're right. This is not really a. This is a basketball show. This is a basketball show in name alone. In reality, this is a philosophy podcast where two of the brightest, sharpest minds debate using basketball as a proxy.
I'm Sun Jew. We'll get into that later, but I do have my thoughts on that. But dude, should we open with? Should we go in the order of the games? How do you want to do this?
Listen, let me just give people a little background. Let them know what I'm up against right now because I've had hilariously bad travel days. I didn't even think this episode was going to happen. I am texting Sam earlier in the day. I fucked my travel up. And this is really a story about what we love ultimately killing us in the end, and this goes back.
It's food or sex. I don't know what's coming.
Well, it's food, sex. It's and edibles. Edibles is really where it is. The power troika for me.
My prediction is you overslept for a flight from edibles.
Huh?
My prediction is you overslept for a flight.
Essentially, but there's a lot more to it right now. So there's a lot. It's layered, right? So I'm in Toronto. I'm having the time of my life. Shouts out to the fucking T-Dot. Sold out 4 shows. Sold 1,500 tickets in Toronto. It felt incredible. All in a theater too, not in a fucking not like a comedy club with built-in audience. It felt really good to do that. I love Toronto. Had a great time. Had some friends over there. It's a great city. I love it. And so now it's Saturday. Saturday night, have myself a wild night. I won't listen. The gentleman doesn't suck titties and tell, but we were up pretty late that night.
But you just did.
Well, that's as much as I'll say.
Hell yeah.
I'm up all night. Also, I was supposed to be. Last week was a rare week home, right? Like I very rarely have gotten a week home in the last fucking 4 months, basically. If I haven't had COVID and it hasn't been Christmas, I have not been home, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna zone out. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna get some good habits going into this Toronto weekend. What ends up happening is it's my boy Adam's birthday. We're out till fucking 4 a.m. right? I go out. I have one of my, I go out. A friend I haven't seen in months is like, let's get dinner. We end up getting having Greek food, getting wine drunk, right? Then I do an episode of Pause with Sam J, which I was very happy to do. Sam's great. I love the writers on that show. Zach Fox, fucking Jack Knight, Langston. Those are my guys. It was fun.
Yeah, I like those guys a lot.
They're great dudes, and the best part is I did the house party show, which is like, I don't know if it's gonna be good on TV, but you get top shelf booze all night. You have to fucking make a couple quips here and there, but it was basically my buddy's birthday out till 4 a.m. Sunday when I should have recovered, have myself a fucking decadent Greek dinner and some fucking bottle and a half of fucking red. Monday I'm fucking going buck wild at Pause with Sam J. And then something happened Wednesday too that I don't fucking remember where I had a show. I had my show Pantheon, and then I believe, did we do an episode then? I don't remember. Anyway.
We did a PDL After Dark. Yeah, and I'll tell you, man, I have the same problem you have where on the road I've been much healthier because I have Gary Vee with me.
Right.
He hits the gym in the morning. He
Yes.
wants to eat healthy. I'm home. There's always some degenerate who crawls out of the woodwork.
Exactly.
Who
I wasn't
says,
prepared for
I'm
the
at a bar,
degenerates.
meet me, and I go, what am I, made of stone?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll meet at a fucking bar.
I haven't been out drinking in New York in fucking months. Of course I'm gonna come out. Anyway, so basically the point I'm trying to make is I'm riding a bender into Toronto, which is not how you want to go to an awesome, fun city, right?
Yeah.
Thursday, have myself a real nice time in Toronto again. A gentleman doesn't do certain things. So I get in on Thursday.
Don't say any more, buddy.
I get in on Thursday. It's kind of like a chill day where I'm like, all right, I see a friend, let's say, and I'm fucking, but I take it pretty easy. I take some edibles, pass out early. Friday, I'm actually pretty healthy. Fucking hit the elliptical, eat salads. I know I'm in for something. But then Friday during the day, Friday at night, again, I fucking stay out late, drink, whatever. Saturday, and then, so anyway, flash forward to Saturday as we talked about. I'm hungover, or Saturday, then we double it up again. Saturday, all 4 shows are done, great shows. And Sunday, I stayed an extra day because I'm hoping when I booked my ticket, I'm hoping the Raptors have a home playoff game on Sunday. So on blind faith, I stay one extra day.
That's a little too bold for me because I could have done the same thing in Utah, and thank God I didn't because we're both, away teams here.
That's true. That's true. Exactly. Well, look, what the fuck can I say? I'm a gambler. I like to lay it on the line, Sammy.
Sure.
Anyway, so I'm not supposed to be flying out till 4 on Monday, right? So that's kind of hard to miss a flight at 4 p.m., right? Sunday comes around. I am viciously hungover. I sleep basically all day to get rid of my hangover. I'm supposed to meet a friend later that night.
You do another drug.
To get rid of my hangover, I nibble on an edible that one of the Canadian comics gave me, right? And I'm thinking I'm being responsible. I'm taking a nibble here, right? And every edible I've ever seen in Canada, they sell them at the stores like they're fucking pills. They sell them 2 at a time, and they're like 10 milligrams, 20 milligrams. None of the 50, 100 milligrams I'm used to taking. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm nibbling at it. And the guy told me, he was like, hey.
I don't know if nibble makes it sound more innocent. It's still a drug. I mean, I'm just going to have a nosh. I'm going to have a nosh of heroin. Just a nosh.
Just a little nib. Just a little fucking nib. And the guy was like, hey, these are strong. And I'm thinking, okay, you Canadian piece of shit. They're strong. Like, the fuck? Every edible I've ever had here has been like 5 milligrams. Suck me off. Even if it's strong for Canada, I'll nibble. Max, it's 100 milligrams. Max, I'll take a 10. For whatever reason, Sam.
10 isn't that much.
10 isn't that much. So that's what I'm thinking. It's 100 milligrams. He says it's strong. I don't know why I didn't read the package first. Okay? This motherfucker gave me 1,000 milligram edible.
So you had 100.
Anywhere from 100 to 200 is my estimation.
That's insane.
It was not what I thought I was doing.
That's 10 times what I said was okay.
I know.
That's insane.
Listen, and I had plans that night. I was going to see a friend.
And were you freaking the fuck out?
Bro, I was freaking out so hard. I was doing that thing where I would set a fucking nap. I would set an alarm for 20 minutes and take a nap. And I was like, well, as soon as I wake up from this nap, I'll be sober. I was getting up and like doing chores. I was like, I'm packing. Would a high guy pack? No, a high guy would be watching a movie. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm not high. I am fucking having a fucking, and it's Easter Sunday, by the way. And by the way, Canada, it closes down. In America, I thought I thought Canada's less religious than us, but I guess in a society where you get a lot of days off, any excuse, you get the day off.
Oh, I did a Sunday show in Utah on Easter, sold that shit out. And let me tell you something, dude. Those were some fucking heathens up in that motherfucker.
Yes,
Those
exactly.
Dudes, that was one of the best crowds of the weekend, I'll tell you.
That's awesome. That sounds awesome. Anyway, so I cancel all my plans. I can't meet any of my friends. I'm having a full-blown panic attack. I pass out.
What are they saying? Are they just worried about you? Are they annoyed or what?
I'm so high that I can't even tell people what's going on. I'm just like, hey man, what did I say? I was like, oh, been a tough weekend. I just said I was too ashamed of myself to admit what was happening, right? And you get that high brain, and you're like, part of you's like, they'll go to the police if I tell them I'm on drugs. It's like you're literally
your friends turn on you.
You're literally, dude. I'm having a panic attack on 100,000 different levels.
Oh Jesus.
Anyway, I sleep way too late, right?
Yeah.
I sleep till my flight's at 4. I sleep till 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot you need a fucking COVID test to get out of fucking Canada. I completely forgot. So
Are
if
those
it's
hard to schedule there?
Well, it's Easter Monday.
Ooh.
Fucking half the things are closed. So it's like I'm checking all this shit. I go to the airport website. You know how airports overdo it and they're like, be here 3 hours early to make sure you'll get your test. And it's like, well, it's 3 right now. So now I'm like, I'm fucked, right? Like I got nothing to fucking do.
But you can get it at the airport.
You can get it at the airport, but it's like there's no guarantee I'll make my flight. Now, here's another thing. It started snowing in Toronto. I have a friend who's at the airport. She's flying home. She's been delayed fucking all day. Now I'm like, I'm already been in Toronto an extra day because of my dumbass was waiting for the Raptors. I cannot go home. Like, I can't just stay here another day. You know what I mean? If like there's snow, it's whatever.
I mean, that sounds like hell to me.
It's absolute hell. Listen, once I realize I'm missing my flight, do I call a friend and maybe do some of the stuff a gentleman doesn't talk about? Once I've decided the flight is missed, do I call a friend?
So how did you pull this off? How did you land?
So listen to this. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm driving. I'll drive home. I don't give a fuck. I need to get home immediately. I try and schedule a fucking car. You can't drive a car from Toronto to New York. Internationally, they won't let you do it. I've done that so many other times. I'm like, it's 8 hours. It's not that big a deal. I'm buzzing. I've had so many coffees to counteract all the weed that I'm like, I'll be awake till 5 a.m. So, but you're not allowed to fucking rent a car. So then, this friend that I've made, we became really close over this week. I texted comics. I'm like, here's my plan. I'm like, fuck, I can't rent a car. I'll have a comic drive me to fucking Buffalo. I'll pay them handsomely.
Yeah.
Because I have so much Canadian money from merch that I don't know what to do with. So I'm like, I'll pay whoever wants $500 Canadian. I need to get to Buffalo, right? So this is plane, trains, and automobiles at this point. Where I'm like, and then the promoter's not getting back to me. He's like, I assume some comic is gonna want to do this. I remember when I was a broke ass comic, I would have fucking loved $500 for a 2-hour ride, right?
Sure.
He can't find anyone. My friend, my new Toronto friend, she's like, you want me to ask around? So a friend of mine asks her friend. We get me, her, and her friend hop in a fucking rental car because they're gonna just return it. They drive me across the border. I'm just going to Buffalo on a hope and a prayer, right? By the way, as soon as we leave my hotel, it starts raining. The snow stops, start raining. Once we get on the highway, fucking snowing, bro. An hour and a half. And I'm looking, right? I'm looking at the fucking at Google Air, whatever, Google Flights. There's a fucking 7:45 plane that's gonna get from Buffalo to LaGuardia. I'm like,
what airline are we looking at?
Delta, baby. It's looking beautiful. It snows so hard, I miss that flight. I don't get on that flight. Then I just show up to the airport. By the time I get to the airport, it's 8:20. I just go to the airport. I'm like, 1 ticket to New York, please. Like it's the fucking 30s. Listen to this. There's a JetBlue flight leaving in a half hour. $400 to get a JetBlue flight from Buffalo to fucking JFK.
You would have been stuck in Buffalo tonight.
I would have been stuck in Buffalo, bro. I was like, I have to. You know what? No, I wouldn't. Where I'd be is fucking driving home right now. Because that was my backup plan. I was like, if I can't get a flight, I'll just get a fucking.
That's a long drive, though.
I probably would have stopped in the middle somewhere, but I have shit to do tomorrow, right? Like I couldn't like get rid of the stuff.
Jesus. Adventure. I was about to complain. I got delayed like 40 minutes, and I was about to open with that. But there's a better story.
So anyway, dude.
But I was hungover, so it was a tough 40.
And by the way, I stopped being high maybe 25 minutes ago. Like that's the other thing is that like I was fucking blasted.
You've got energy right now. You've got
I'm on a bunch of I was drinking.
This is Stavi off the bench right now.
Dude, I'm feeling like Eddie House on the Celtics on the Suns right now, dude. Fucking put me in, I'll go for 50. Anyway, I somehow survived it. Shouts out to my beautiful friends over there in Canada. I don't want to blow up their spot too much, but they know who they are. They're the fucking best. I mean, truly, I was saved by strangers. You. Like, not stranger, one stranger and one friend, but like just a complete stranger. Like, yeah, fuck it, I got shit to do. So, salute. I fucking made it. I'm pumped because it was like, when the fuck were we gonna do this podcast? I have to do fucking Come Town tomorrow. I have, my brother's wedding is this fucking week. I have to go finish up like getting my final fitting. Like, I have shit I need done anyway. Yeah. I did it. I pulled it off.
You did it, though. You pulled off the heist of the century, man.
I pulled off. I felt like the fucking Celtics in the last minute of that fucking Nets game. How about that? That Tatum layup?
That was crazy, man. I mean, it's also. Can I say this? That Kyrie's getting shit for giving the finger to the fans.
I loved it.
I love it. I love it. Why are players held to a higher standard than
they threw bottles at this guy?
I'll say this too, like. Why are they allowed to say whatever they want to him and he can't do anything back? Like, it's more fun if these guys are giving fans the finger.
Totally.
To me, that's amazing.
Absolutely. And it's like, I guess he'll get a fine. I don't know.
Whatever. Like, think of what Boston Savages in the crowd have done for years. Like, so I just finished that book you told me to read, the Lakers one.
So
I loved it. I mean, I had no idea that they would just pull the fire alarm at whatever hotel the Lakers were staying in. It's hilarious. So they would just get woken up all night and roll in on no sleep. I'd be so angry, dude.
Oh, my God. Yeah, exactly. We get mad if we don't get sleep. Like, when we have to do morning radio and our job is to talk for an hour, 10 hours after morning radio, that ruins our whole day. Imagine, like, you have to fucking run and jump and shit like that.
I think it's ridiculous, and I really did think the Nets were going to pull it off, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, so, okay, let's talk about the overall weekend. But, yes, we should start there because that was, without question, the game of the weekend. I mean,
it was, but there were a few really good games.
No, we had great games and great performances, even more.
That was the most dramatic ending.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we have to tip our cap to fucking Ant Edwards, who, I mean, that motherfucker is incredible.
Dude, the first thought I had was, damn, the NBA's in good hands. Because you see Ant Edwards, Maxey, John Morant.
Yeah, Maxey went off. Yep.
All these young dudes just going off. Yeah. And, I mean, Ant is going to be an incredible player because he's just massive and has a soft touch. It's like, I don't want to compare him to like a scoring type LeBron, but like that's almost a body type.
Yeah, I mean, he really, dude, it's like, he is. That is the body type. There's no way around it. And it's like, and it's
football
like,
player body.
Football player body. And what's so interesting about him is like, look, LeBron was a basketball genius from the moment he stepped on the court, right? Like LeBron is like his brain is on another level.
Yeah.
Edwards, it's like his confidence was there, right? Where it's like you don't. He's so like weirdly charismatic, and weird is the right word. Like he's odd. He is an odd guy, which is great. I think some of the best players of all time are fucking weirdos, right? Kobe's definitely a fucking weirdo. Like
different type. Kobe's a different type of weirdo.
Yeah, he did certain very weird things. I think you could say, But like, yeah, weirdo, like fucking there's the sociopath weirdos. There's the fucking just kind of like Tim Duncan was a strange guy. It's just they all have their idiosyncrasies, right? And
I think Anthony is he's a kid too. Like that's the other thing, to be this good at this age. He's a baby. Is he even 21?
No, he's not 21. And he reminds you of like a little ass kid who's just talks like an adult almost. It's like there's something about there's such a it's like when a toddler is like, I'm better than you, fucking, and it's like because he's like a basketball baby and he's just going in there. He doesn't give a fuck. He truly doesn't give a fuck. It's awesome to watch, and I mean, his first half of his rookie year was tough, but ever since then, it's like he's fucking awesome, dude. And again, it's like it's that he is not fucking scared of the moment at all in a way that And like Towns bounced back, right? Like he did. He had a good game, but you just in a weird way on a team with Towns, on a team with obviously D'Lo, who made some All-Star team, whatever you want to call it. Anthony Edwards, it feels like that team will go as far as Anthony Edwards will take them. And if I'm the Timberwolves right now, I'm already. I mean, I talked about this earlier in the season. I mean, do you just say fuck it? Let's build around fucking Ant. Like, can you get anything?
Why?
For Towns?
Why can't? I don't know, dude. Why can't Towns and Ant work together? They're both killers. I mean,
yeah.
Ant,
I guess.
Cat is. I think Cat is a rare player who has never been in a playoff series. He looked really good in game one.
He did look good. But listen, he looked. How horrific did he look in the fucking play-in though?
Okay, but that's one game, dude. People have bad games.
But that's a fucking elimination game already. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I get you. Of course, people have bad games all the time. We're not.
I think also,
and I'm rooting for Cat. But it's just like when you see a 20-year-old have.
But think of what you can do in the league when you have a big man who shoots over 40% from three and who can take you off the dribble. I mean, that dunk he had. It's like to shoot like that and to be able to throw it down on someone.
Yeah, and you know what?
I think I disagree. I think you can have them both. And they might be good together because it seems like Edwards is more of an alpha.
That's true. You know what? I think personality-wise, they're a good match. I guess I'm just talking like, I don't know, man. And look, you know what? There is definitely something to keeping a good team around, like a fucking super-duper star. But it's like if shit starts getting a little too expensive, I think that's...
Let me ask you this right now. Who do you rather have maxed up? Anthony Edwards and Cat, or Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert?
Oh, wow. Without question, Anthony Edwards. But you know what? I think that has a little something to say with your future Nick over there. Why is Donovan Mitchell losing these games to fucking Dallas?
Well, it's 1-1.
I know, but why did he lose? Why did he fucking... I mean, I guess...
Well, maybe he won't be a Nick next year. Maybe Jalen Brunson will be a Nick next year.
Jalen Brunson had me salivating. I was watching him go off on my phone.
He's a very good player.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're ready to throw the max at him. Career high 41 in the playoffs.
After he had a bad playoffs last year, so he's ready for the moment.
But here's the thing. Here's the other thing. There is no greater fucking amplifier of your fucking abilities in the playoffs than playing the Utah Jazz. Think about who's gone the fuck off. Think about who had fucking
Terrence Mann.
Yeah, Terrence Mann, absolutely. Terrence Mann had his career high. Jalen Brunson his career high. Fucking the guy with the fucking on Denver, who's hurt. Jamal Murray had multiple career fucking.
Well, Jamal Murray though is a max player,
But I'm just saying, Chris Paul. I mean, we're talking career highs. Chris Paul ties his career high as an old man against the fucking Jazz. I mean, here's what
worries me though about Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks talk is I am worried. Well, the problem is he's got a good supporting cast in Utah, a better supporting cast than he would have in New York.
Yeah,
I mean,
he got in there.
That's
he got
a problem.
In there because you remember he stepped right into the team that was kind of built around Gordon Hayward. They were a veteran team, and he just kind of he stepped right into that vacuum. And look, at the time that was very exciting, but now you have somebody who you've surrounded with Bogdanovich, with fucking Ingles, who's already gone. You surround him with fucking Mike Conley, and even Gobert, who is younger than those guys, he's older than Donovan. So now you have this young guy with whose infrastructure looks like it's like they're the United States. Their infrastructure is crumbling. You know what I mean? Like everything around him is not looking good.
Rudy is definitely Florida.
I don't know. You got to give Rudy's the one thing keeping that defense afloat, I will say.
No, Rudy's D is incredible. I mean, and also I'll say this, he sets picks like a motherfucker. Like those are on that pick and roll, that's his whole body. You're getting hit. I just don't. It's funny. I don't have a lot of confidence in Utah at all. Like if the Mavs won this series without Luka, would you be shocked? I wouldn't.
I wouldn't be shocked, but that's embarrassing.
But losing to the Clippers without Kawhi is embarrassing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a fucking great point. I mean, the Jazz are such fucking frauds. It's fucking despicable. If you're in Utah, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself for rooting for this team right now. Yeah.
Oh, I let them have it for their streets being named after Karl Malone. I said, "Oh, do you turn right on Karl Malone Way and turn left on Baby Rape Boulevard?" Is that? I was just trashing them all week. And the crowds knew. They were applauding. But we're watching the Utah Jazz fall apart. That's what it is. And the Mavs are in a pretty good position, weirdly, because if they have a culture now. Like, say what you want about Jason Kidd. We trashed him. He has built a culture, man. Like, they like him, clearly.
And look, I do believe one of the outcomes that I thought, something with Jason Kidd, is that, like, he's the kind of guy that the first year is really good, I think. Because people like him.
Tibbs.
Similar to Tibbs a little bit. Now, look, Kidd, whatever you want to say about him as a coach, as a player, he's one of the guys that was maybe one of the best guys at adapting and continuing to change, right? Even in an era where, like, now it's like, the best guys are always doing shit like that. But, the 90s, not necessarily everybody was fucking really working on their game. My favorite player, Allen Iverson, I think he was out there fucking, he was getting drunk as shit. He was little as fuck, drunk as shit in the off seasons, just gambling, having a good ass time. You had a lot of those guys, right? Harden is a throwback to that era in a lot of ways. Kidd, as a fucking player.
Although Harden is not looking horrible in the first two games. Like, he's kind of, I know that the numbers aren't incredible. If you're watching the games, he's setting up Maxey. Maxey has been incredible since Harden has come.
True.
There.
And listen, I think, what's interesting is that, like, with a lot of guys that size, it's like, you think they might, you think they might age up, but weirdly, at least in the last couple of years, Harden has aged down a position where it's like he goes from shooting guard to now he's sort like on the Nets last year they were much better when he was a point guard. Yeah. Right? Like,
and they could have him right now. I mean, if Kyrie got the vax, they'd have Harden right now, and they'd be maybe the scariest offense in the East.
But at the same time, though, last year when they needed to rely on Harden, he played like an MVP, and this year when they needed to rely on him, he played like he played in Houston last year. So who knows what's going on with Harden, but
all I know is as a one-on-one guy, like as just a point guard who has to distribute, he's
insane, one of the most gifted passers of all time. Yeah. Anyway, that series is we should touch on it. I mean, everyone was kind of
Raptors. A lot of people picked the Raptors. I think you included.
We were sucking off the Raptors. I definitely was.
I didn't think they were going to win the series. I think I said Sixers in 6.
Did I pick them? Did I get swept up in hating on Doc Rivers?
I think you did.
Which is funny. Listen, Doc, the first 2 games anyway, Doc's got Nick Nurse's nuts in a little vice right now. Doc's holding
I think he's
balls.
got a better team. I don't know if this is a coaching thing. I think this is Scotty Barnes is out.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes
who's valuable.
Gets stepped on by Embiid. That's got to suck dick.
Tyrese Maxey is taking over.
He's very good.
He's the real deal. He's a kid too. Embiid is Embiid. There's no answer for Embiid. Yeah,
that's really the biggest issue is that it's like, as we all knew there was no answer, but it's like, damn. They have it. I guess it's like when Toronto's defense isn't bothering them the way you thought, and it's like Maxey can go. It's like, maybe we, especially me, was fucking wrong about that. But so credit to the fucking Sixers, and then what's interesting?
No Tybal in game 3 or 4, but I still think Philly could sweep them.
They'll probably take one. I think they'll take one.
Maybe one
with no Tybal
home court. Yeah.
But what's interesting is like then it's like. I mean, I would rather play the Heat than the fucking Bucks or Celtics, right? In the playoffs.
Did you watch game 1?
Whatever, we'll be fine. Get out of here.
The Heat are fucking good.
No. Oh, I thought you were talking about the Bucks. The Bucks' weird game against the Bulls, but it's like.
No, I'm talking about. You said you'd rather play the Celtics.
What I'm saying is, if I'm Philly, right, and Toronto, you have fucking Scotty Barnes is hurt. Yeah. The team just doesn't really. We greatly overestimated how much of an issue they would be. Maxi's going off, all this stuff. If let's say they steamroll Philly, then it's like, or I'm sorry, they steamroll the Raptors. Then it's like, I don't know. I would like, especially for Philadelphia, is Miami a better matchup than Milwaukee or Boston?
I think Miami's a really hard matchup for Philly because Bam is a great defensive player. Their depth is crazy. Their shooting is crazy. Their composure is maybe the best of any team when you've got a backcourt of Lowry and Jimmy Butler. Dudes are just calm as hell under pressure.
And look,
Duncan Robinson shooting the fucking lights out. Tyler Hero off the bench. PJ couldn't miss a shot. I mean, like, they're kind of a scary team right now.
Yeah, but I also think they played the fucking Atlanta Hawks. And it's like, if you neutralize Trey, which they are maybe the best team in the fucking league. I mean, and at doing it, Is
there a deeper team in the East than the Miami Heat? No.
I mean, Boston might make the argument, but I think no.
No, definitely not.
Especially not this year with all the fucking like player development Miami has done.
Struce and Martin and all. I mean, it's crazy. They're deep as hell.
Anyway, what I'm saying is like, sure, Bam is the man, but it's also a lot of his value is in like switching. I still think if you think Embiid can fucking. I mean, I guess Milwaukee. I don't know. I don't know who the better matchup is. There's no good matchup, but I'm just saying.
No, there's 4 teams that are a problem in the East.
Yeah, I'm just saying though. I guess from being like, wow, the Raptors or the Phillies, fuck, the Raptors are going to take them to 7. Now, if it's like if they walk all over the fucking Raptors, I mean, I don't think they're. I mean, I don't think it's a good matchup, but it's also like. I don't know, man. I could see them beating the Heat. It's like things might just break the opposite way for Philly now, where it's like without, they kind of got there. I could also
see the Heat beating them, though. I mean, that's a tough series.
I'm just saying everybody else is, yeah.
I could literally see probably like there's a lot of teams in the East I could see in the finals right now. The East is better than the West. Right now in the West, to me, it's like the Suns or the Warriors in the finals. Whereas,
yeah, especially after Mini taking a game off Memphis, it kind of did expose a lot of the shit that we were fucking worried about a little bit with Memphis. Where I never
thought Memphis was making the finals. I thought they were a good. I still think they're a good team, but I don't think they're a finals team yet.
Yeah, you're probably right. I got a little swept up. I got a little swept up in Ja enthusiasm.
And then the East, it's like, okay, the Celtics have the weapons, the Heat have the weapons, the Bucks have the weapons.
It really pissed me off. The Celtics winning really pissed me off, or the Celtics winning really pissed me off. That was a weird game.
You want Brooklyn to win that series?
Well, when you're watching that series, that was
a tough one for me.
When you watch that series, it's like I switched who I was rooting for so many times, not because I wanted that team to win. But because I kept switching between actively rooting against each team. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, fuck Boston. I want them to. I was just hoping that anytime they were up, I wanted them to lose. And then when Brooklyn's up, it's like, fuck Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Dude, Boston fans are like old, like racist Republicans. And Nets fans are like liberals who don't read. They're both really annoying.
Yeah, sure.
I don't like either of them.
Yeah.
And I have to distance myself. And Knicks fans are QAnon. We're kind of like, we're crazy, but we're fun. We're quirky.
And what you're waiting for will never happen. The storm is not coming, it turns out.
The Capitol riot, that was after we beat the Celtics in the home opener.
Absolutely.
No, I think that the Nets could still win this series, obviously. I mean, because you just never know. But, I mean, I think the series is going 7.
Yeah, well, I think Brooklyn needed that a little more. Only because...
For sure, but if they split, then they take back home court, right? I mean,
That's true.
Also, not to mention...
don't think... Al Horford, yeah.
Al Horford looked like he was 10 years younger.
He was fucking awesome.
That's insane.
The playoffs will do that. I mean, sometimes you get that out of the playoffs, but I also think, like, for that, will Horford hold up over the course of a series? And in the same way, because the Nets are thinner, they got to bank those wins when they have. I mean, Kyrie was fucking so good, dude.
I know, but KD wasn't amazing.
KD wasn't good. No, KD was straight up bad. I mean, bad for him. It's so funny how good he is. Where it's like
he still hit incredible shots.
23 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, stealing a block, and we're like, he sucked. But he did that in 41 minutes, and that's a lot of fucking time. But yeah, Kyrie was fucking beautiful.
Well, the problem is, as
he
great
really
as
was.
they both are, they rarely both go off.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like 40 and 20. You don't see a lot of 30-30 games out of them.
Still, I will say it was an impressive game because, they're so undermanned. And I remember, I mean, you know how I felt going into the series where I was just like, I'm not seeing it for the Nets.
Why are they undermanned? They're undermanned because of Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, Kyrie Irving and also
Kyrie,
roster construction.
Now, Ramadan, this guy will do whatever it takes to make it harder on his team.
It is awesome.
It's incredible.
Yeah. That is fucking. It is. Where did salute to him, I guess, but where did that come from? He feels a lot more about worshiping like Mother Gaia. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like he'd be on some weird shit we don't even know about.
That looked brutal. Like, did you see him after the game? Like, that did not look... Like, I'm literally eating a poke bowl in my hotel room. Like, that looks awful.
Yeah. I didn't see after the game, actually, no.
He looked tired.
Yeah. No, I mean, that game was fucking sick. That was... to be honest with you, the very end of that game is when that edible started really crushing me.
Wow.
From the early... And it lasted until... 25 minutes ago. That's how much weed that it was in my system.
I mean, that's what you get, dude. You got to be careful.
I was dancing with the devil.
Let's go through some other games because there were a lot of
real quick.
Games.
Let me also just suck off Goran Dragic, who we talked about Horford looking young. Dragic looked fucking like old Dragic. He was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then Boston was good, I guess. Jason Tatum was so good. Fucking Jalen Brown was good. Marcus Smart was fine, I guess. Fuck Marcus Smart. Here's the thing. Okay, real quick, my DPOY thing. Real quick.
Okay, and I'm going to counter right after you. Go ahead.
You're telling me if you wanted one player to affect your team's defense, where do you think Marcus Smart gets drafted? You're telling me you would rather have Marcus Smart than fucking Rudy Gobert, than Giannis even. Giannis is a much more impactful player on defense than Marcus Smart will ever be. Bam, for that matter.
I think Giannis's greatness offensively hurts him in an award race like this.
I'm just saying, where the fuck... Listen, the Celtics suck dick in the first half of the year,
First
right?
off, Marcus Smart is probably a top 5 defensive player. I mean, no matter what position. Think about where the Celtics defense is ranked in the second half of the season, because a lot of this award is narrative, and the second half gives you momentum.
But that's okay. This is actually my point, because first half, a team with Giannis, a team with Bam, a team with even fucking Rudy Gobert. Although I don't know. Maybe the Jazz stretch that logic. But let me just a team with those guys never gets that bad on defense. And then the team as a whole starts defending. The entire team starts defending, which they do. And that's on Ime Udoka, if you ask me. But
he has always been the glue guy. He's always been we've compared him to Draymond as a guy who does a little bit of creating.
That's
on
fine,
offense.
but it's a whole team thing. That's like saying Draymond should get MVP because the Warriors 70 fucking whatever season, he was the glue that kept it together. Just because he's the glue of the best defense doesn't mean if he played if the rest of the guys aren't playing hard ass defense.
So you're arguing for Rudy Gobert right now, unintentionally.
I guess it's a combination of things. I was shocked to see that Bridges was second.
I think here's what it is.
It's
so much of the game.
It felt like MVP voting, and I feel like DPOY rarely. I mean, I know you're saying narrative's important, but this felt weirdly like they completely overvalued the team's success in this situation. Is how I read it a little
here's
bit.
How I see it.
And Rudy fatigue.
That Rudy fatigue is,
and Giannis fatigue for that matter.
Sure. But the problem is, I think,
and Bam was injured too much.
The game is played on the perimeter now much more than, it is attacking. And that's why, even Mikal Bridges posted something about like nice to see the island represented, defending on an island. Because, Bridges, I think, should be in the top 3, no question for it. I was kind of going back and forth. I don't know who my pick was. I kind of leaned toward Bridges because of the team success and because he was on the best player every night. But I like seeing a perimeter guy get it because it's the first time it's happened since 95, 96 with the glove Gary Payton. So it's nice to see a small guy get the award again.
Whatever.
And also, I think Marcus Smart should have been a Knick. I really do.
Okay, who gives a fuck?
He dives.
Who fucking cares what you think?
You know what?
That's why he should get Defensive Player of the Year.
Then don't do a podcast with me, you fucking prick. So then,
oh wow, he should have been. Reasons Marcus Smart should win Defensive Player of the Year. Sam thinks he should have been a Knick. That's a
he's
good
got
ass
the New York.
point,
He reminds me. He's got that a little bit of oak in him. Always diving for the loose balls.
So sad,
always,
man.
always ready to fight.
This is pathetic.
Oh yeah, fair weather fucking cunt Bucks fan. Fuck you.
I root for country first and foremost. I'm a patriot. You fucking Americans could never
City.
know about it.
I root for City.
Yeah.
It's like country, but even smaller. You should look it up. Fucking fraud.
Whatever. Your provincial mindset will never stop me. I'm a global thinker, Sam.
I almost sent you a clip. They were doing the Knicks highlights of the year on defense, and it was one of them was a rim chase, a race by Julius on Giannis, and I almost sent it to you today. It's all I have at this point. Come this time of year, all we have are regular season highlights. So just let me be happy.
Yeah, I get it, man. I understand. Anyway, all right, whatever. Fuck the Celtics. We can move on.
There's other good games. I mean, first off, we do have to mention. I mean, the Heat just looked awesome.
They looked awesome.
Looked awesome.
And you know what?
It was fun to watch. As swaggy and amazing as Trae Young is in the playoffs, it was fun to watch Jimmy just fucking say
it was.
Nope.
You know what? It was
Kyle
nice
Lowry,
to see that little
nope.
motherfucker get his comeuppance a little bit because they are because I mean, look, the Heat did that to Giannis, right? The Heat. I mean, the Raptors did first, and I still blame. Listen, we've had a good run now. He's Big Dick Mike as far as I'm concerned, but I still remember that era of Budenholzer. I think he mismanaged that Toronto series, but Toronto kind of did the wall, and then the Heat kind of fucking perfected it that year that they, the bubble especially, even though they are bubble frauds. And everyone knows Milwaukee was too focused on bigger issues, to worry about basketball. Life is bigger than basketball. There was a fucking social justice uprising going on.
Kawhi still had his. Oh, you're talking about the Heat? Yeah, no, the Heat
yeah.
That year.
Anyway,
that was the Heat. The Heat were a cohesive unit that year, and I'll tell you, man, they really. Would you be shocked if the Heat were in the finals?
I kind of would. I just do think. I think
the Lowry addition in the playoffs is going to be huge for them.
I guess I wouldn't be shocked because I think Milwaukee is coming out of their side of the bracket, obviously, and I think there is a little bit of there is a rivalry there. I think they
that would probably be the best series as a basketball fan.
Absolutely.
Bucks versus Miami because they don't like each other. You get PJ switching sides, which is fun.
That.
They didn't want to.
You get a reminder of what pieces of shit every fucking owner is, and they get. I don't understand why the fuck they get to fucking hold the trophy first. Suck my dick, you fucking billionaires. You could have paid a little luxury tax to run back the fucking champion team, but no.
Instead,
you had to save
brought
a
in
little extra.
Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Grayson Allen, supervillain. Your new
Grayson
enforcer.
Allen, a sieve on defense. Anyway, yes, I guess I wouldn't be surprised because that is a juicy matchup, just personality wise. And look, the only way to look at it is that the Heat are better, right? And the Bucks are a little less. They're a little less. They're a little less deep. They're a little less versatile than they were last year. And the Heat they're deeper and they're better than they were last year.
But the Bucks did fuck them up last year. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is a pretty good matchup.
Well, that's what I'm saying is you take all that into account and it's still good. And look, at the end of the day, you know where I stand, where it's I just believe in Giannis and I believe the best player, especially in the playoffs, tends to persevere. And it's not like his team is full of slouches either. Fucking Middleton and Drew are G's. Listen, Brook Lopez, he was important in that Bulls game because Giannis didn't have it going, and
Vooch hit a couple
score,
big shots,
dude.
and then I was kind of like, yeah. I mean, look,
and listen, when the playoffs slow down, people don't play back to the basket basketball anymore. Like you don't do post touches that much. But Brook Lopez is a fucking very skilled post player, and in the playoffs when you have to manufacture a few points here and there, especially for the possessions your stars sit, he's a good guy to have. And
no doubt. I just think no matter what happens, we're gonna get some good matchups. I think. Whether it be would it be Philly and Miami next round?
Philly, Miami, and then it would be
great. I mean, so no matter who, no matter who is in the Eastern Conference Finals, I think we're getting a good matchup. Is my point.
It'll be Philly and some combination of like Philly, Milwaukee, or Philly, Nets, Philly, whatever. I mean,
Celtics, we don't know.
Celtics, we don't know. The Celtics series is the one to monitor. But
that being said, the West to me is pretty decided. The Warriors will sweep the Nuggets.
You don't think Jokic gets one?
No, I don't. I don't think they have.
They're such a bad matchup. It sucks.
It's a bad matchup, and Jokic has no help. He's a great player, but dude, Aaron Gordon's their next best player out there right now. He can't do shit against this team.
Jordan Poole's going off.
He's going off. Steph looks pretty fucking healthy.
Yeah, he looks good, which is important. And they're beating them by 18 as of this recording.
They scored 44 in the third quarter just now, by the way.
Yeah, I missed that game. I mean, honestly, I didn't see as many of these games I wanted to. Canada was fucking my ass with, dude. I was trying to watch basketball Saturday. I had to rewatch highlights. I had to watch some stuff on League Pass, but I was on Canadian. I was in a nice hotel in Canada, fucking Toronto. They were showing when I was with when the Hawks Heat game was going on. They were showing 2 hockey games. They were showing golf on 2 channels. They were showing MLS soccer on 2 channels. And they were showing Blue Jays. And they were not showing any fucking NBA basketball. And to make matters worse, because I had a league pass from America, I was blacked out in Canada for some reason. So I had to just wait till the replays. Anyway, whatever. It fucked my ass up.
Awful. Well, I do
want to say before, because we missed the second play-in games. And you got to salute the Pelicans for winning. I mean, CJ having some pretty fat
Either
nuts.
team was winning the opportunity to get swept by the Phoenix Suns.
But you know what? For the Pelicans, I think that means a lot. I think it means a lot more than it does to the Clippers. Because you're
sure.
And look, it's like I know but this is why you want to get in the playoffs, because it does kind of make you take a look at that team, and it makes you take a look at that team and be like, you know what, dude? If these motherfuckers just had Zion, think about it where we were 4 months ago with this team, where it's like Zion's leaving, he's fat as shit, his fucking feet don't work. The whole David Griffin
he's coming to the Knicks. He belongs in the bright lights of the Garden. He loves RJ. They're best friends.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. All that stuff. David Griffin should be used as a sandbag for the next hurricane that hits New Orleans, like that. Like David Griffin's a piece of shit. And now you look at them, they sneak into the playoffs, they get that big win. And by the way, that was the play-in games were fucking sick. Let's suck the NBA off. Play-in is an incredible idea.
I was skeptical, and I have to say I was wrong.
Incredible idea.
It's more basketball. It's great.
And more elimination, single game elimination. It's the best.
How cool would it be if someday a 10 seed won a championship?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, imagine if the Warriors were I think that's what it opens up for, is like a team that's hurt all year and then can make like a 4-week run at the end to sneak in. It opens you up to some shit like that.
You're right.
I mean, look at the Nets. Essentially, a healthier Nets right now would be as a 7 seed, or it's the first time a 7 seed.
They could figure something out. I still think they're dangerous.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're the first. That's kind of the flavor.
If they win, if they grab game 1, a lot of people are like, "Are the Celtics fucked?"
Yeah, I mean, you lose home court immediately, and the quicker.
I don't think they'll lose. I'd be shocked if they go down 2-0.
I would be too, because I would be shocked if Durant. But you know what? Some of the Celtics role players didn't play that good. But I would be, and Durant's bad game was still 26 points, and Kyrie had what, 30? What do you have? 38, 39, something like that. The thing is, I don't know what to make of this series. Is the reality. It's hard.
The truth is, we don't know who the Nets are.
Yeah, and also, does Nets home court mean anything?
No,
because part of you wants to be like, the old adage, the series starts when the home team loses, right? That doesn't feel like the case with the Nets necessarily, because it just feels like they're going to lose at home. You know, they're much more likely to lose at home than your random team. And the Celtics is the opposite. And by the way, Minnesota is the opposite. That fucking stadium.
I want Minnesota to win this series. I'm rooting for the upset.
I do too because dude, then we're like, wait, should we be gargling Ant Edwards' cock even harder than we are? Because we're giving it a gargle.
And give credit to Cat, dude. You're going hard on Cat because he had a bad, whatever you call it. No,
I'm not. Listen, I'm rooting for Cat. I just want to see it. I'm just saying, Anthony Edwards, like. That fucking guy was not scared in either of his first. And look, those are his first 2 games. I get that, but
also realize the numbers that I know. Karl Anthony Towns is 26. He's still pretty young for a type of guy he is. He's a young guy. He shoots over 40% from 3. He gets you 24 and 10.
Can he be your main rim protector, or do you have to always play him with a rim protector? And then what's his value? And then doesn't that hurt his value on the floor? Because then who's he guarding is the other question.
Well, is Jokic a traditional rim protector?
He's much better on defense.
He's gotten better for sure. Well, maybe
he's good.
Maybe Cat
I think Jokic is a slightly above average. Yeah, Cat. I mean, people thought he was going to be a great defender when he came into the league. He has the physical tools in theory, but also, you know, he's a 40% 3-point shooter. I don't know. I also want, even though the Miami Heat snuffed him out. The way we sucked off the Pelicans for their playing game, we have to suck the baby nutted villain off.
I'm not going to, but I will say he went off.
His nuts were plump in the play-in. They've since been deflated by the Heat, and I don't think we'll see them. I don't think we'll see Trae Young's big fat baby nuts hurt anyone this year, other than the Cavaliers. But that was a game that looked like
against
it was
the Knicks.
over.
He was sleeping on his nuts like a pillow.
I know.
In a 4-star hotel. He was just laying on them. Now,
let me ask you something. Where do you
Yeah.
stand on 4-star? I think 4-star is the perfect one because I think 5-star they just start to nickel and dime you a little bit because they assume everyone is so rich that internet costs money. Every bottle of water, there's nothing free in a 5-star hotel. Whereas in a 4-star, they're like, you're the richest poor person, is how they look at you. Where it's like, these are still affordable enough where a poor person could be splurging. So we give you a couple waters. You know what I mean? There's a wine reception at 5 p.m. or whatever the fuck. I think 4-star.
I love a wine reception. Let's get a little wine drunk before the show.
Exactly.
Oh, what is that? Toasted raviolis?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. There's always some kind of little snack. There's always a snack that's just a little too fancy for the situation. They'll have a fondue pot for something. They'll have a fondue going for some reason. I'm a 4-star guy. I think till I die, unless I get very rich. But you know, I don't see. I like being the richest poor guy.
Yeah.
I'm a 4-star guy. What can I say? I've learned my lesson on the road this year. For sure. I've learned some harsh road lessons this year. That's for sure.
You have to. You have to learn those harsh lessons.
Anyway,
big games tomorrow, man.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to them. And
Celtics Nets tomorrow.
That's gonna be awesome. I wonder if it breaks right, if I could go to a fucking. I don't know when I'm gonna go to Baltimore for my brother's wedding, but I would like to. I mean, Celtics Nets in Brooklyn, even though they don't have fucking real fans. I have no interest in going to a game where I don't want either team to win because no matter what, I'm leaving the building like ugh. Yeah, but then you got to just put on your fucking NBA hat and be like, I just want to watch fucking some of the best play. I just want to watch greatness. Right. And look, I am rooting I'm rooting against the Celtics with every fiber of my being. But Jason Tatum, this is his big prove it. A lot of fucking Boston guys are sucking this man's fucking beautiful penis off, right?
And they should be. He is the real deal, Jason Tatum. Like, I really do think he is the future. Like, we have a lot of guys with the future of the NBA. Tatum could be an MVP of the league.
He could be. But to be that kind of guy, this is the year you fucking prove it, right? And he's had flashes when he hasn't been the guy. I mean, in his youth, obviously, we remember that run the Celtics made. Celtics have been good pretty much the whole time he's been there. But
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Tatum or Devin Booker? Who do you take?
I think Tatum's more valuable on defense. So I think that's. I mean, yeah, I think you got to go that way. Even though offensively, I think I give the slight edge to Booker there. But Tatum is just more valuable, plays a much more like that's the thing. When you get a guy that good at that position, it's like even Ja, who I love, Ja's a problem on offense. Even though he's a little bigger than Trae Young, obviously, but he still doesn't play good defense.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum plays good defense, man. And again, when you have a superstar that plays good defense, it's kind of easy. And you happen to be the best defensive player on that team. That doesn't mean you're the fucking defensive player of the year. Not a lot. Like, imagine. Anyway, whatever.
Do you watch Marcus Smart play D, dude? He is an incredible
I watch him,
player.
but a guard, I'm really in the like. I mean, I guess this was the year, but they gave it to the Boston Celtics. They didn't, in my opinion. That's how that, and that's a weird.
I liked it. It made me happy to see.
Fuck
I
you,
think
then.
He's been a dog for years, and I've always admired his game.
You like him because because you've imagined him wearing orange and blue.
Because I've traded for him in NBA 2K, and he was a perfect fit.
This is like a girl whose Instagram you beat off to, and you're like, she's really cool, man. It's not even a girl you dated. You're defending the honor of a woman who doesn't know you exist right now. That's what you're doing, basketball-wise. You're like, hey, don't say that about Carla. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, do you know her? It's like, no, but
I'm
spring
double-tapped.
break 3 years ago, I saw that floral bikini.
Yeah, dude. I've never tapped that ass, but I've double tapped that ass, if you know what I mean.
Anyway, whatever. We don't have to go. We don't have to get into it. But yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. And a lot
of moves for the Knicks to make in this offseason. Stay tuned for a lot of interesting stuff that Knicks could maybe pull off after the playoffs.
Stay tuned. Oh wait, no. Tomorrow's not Nets.
It's not?
Tomorrow's Hawks, Heat, Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Pels, Suns. Timberwolves, Grizzlies is the only really interesting one tomorrow, actually.
No, it says game 2 is oh God, tomorrow. I'm looking at my thing. It's already past midnight.
It's already past midnight. You know we're the fucking midnight boys. You know we're the fucking late night savages coming through with hard ass dicks. Anyway, very good basketball going on. I'm fucking pumped. Wednesday is that's when the big dicks come out to play, because you have Nets, Celtics, and then, well, actually, I guess Nets, Celtics is the only really good one. Look, I know the Bucks. We don't have to talk about it yet. I'm not worried about that series at all. It was an ugly win, but fine, we'll take it. They still got it. And then Raptors, Nets. I'm sorry,
terrible series,
dude. I'm sorry, Raptors, Sixers. Game 3 happens on Wednesday. That's at least interesting, because it's like, well, you got to think the Raptors have to win that one. If they don't win that one, forget it.
I could see them losing it, though. I could
really see them
this
losing
going
it.
I could see this going 4. Because Harden has not even had a Harden game yet.
That's true. Yeah, and you know what? It would be pretty on brand for Harden to go off in a game 3 against a fucking team that's doomed, basically. That is, Harden would pad his playoff stats on game 3 against the Raptors in the first round, as opposed to game 7, in the fucking conference championships or whatever. But
dude, Maxey, 38 points in game 1.
He's unbelievable. He's so
in
good.
Game 2, 23 on 8 of 11 shooting, 9 rebounds, 8 assists.
That's the guy we should have fucking drafted. Why the fuck? Where's all this Kentucky knowledge? Why the fuck didn't it get us Maxey? Where the fuck was fucking Round the World Kenny or whatever the fuck?
We could have just had Donovan Mitchell, by the way. We didn't have to trade for Donovan Mitchell. We could have drafted him instead of Frank Ntilikina.
It breaks my heart because I love Frank, but boy, was he a miss. He had a couple moments with Dallas. Is he on the playoff roster?
He's adorable.
He's a fucking cute guy. He's a fucking cute guy. He's got bright eyes. He's gonna have a nice career either here or in Europe, and we love him. And
great defensive player still.
And we're hoping he's getting pussy out there. And you know what?
I think he's a very good defender.
He's a very good defender. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think that's why he had some moments with the Mavs, is because he is useful in this league, and I think he's going to stick around.
It's just the offense is a problem, but defensively he is something else.
Absolutely. He had a couple games where he fucking locked up. I still remember a couple, not even games. I remember possessions where he locked up Harden. I'm like, yeah. That's Harden when he was a little more fucking pep in his step.
He has lost a little bit for sure, but he's still. Look, man, it is just weird to see. He used to get to the line every time, and it's just weird to see it not work anymore.
I listen. That's one where it's like I gotta see him with a full off season. I hope he can bounce back. I hope he fully truly likes where he is, and a lot riding on these playoffs, folks. A lot to see still, but we're early on. First weekend was great. I mean. You had a lot of great performances. You had the young guys come out to play. You had fucking a nice 2-7 upset. You had that fucking buzzer beater, which unfortunately the Celtics won. But a lot of good shit, a lot of good stuff to look forward to. You had Philly coming out and throwing their nuts all over our mouths, making us choke on their ball hairs. We're smelling them. We're like, oof, that's pungent. And there's nothing we can do to get their pubes out of our noses. Because we thought the Raptors were going to be better than they were, so we're sucking some Philly cock right now. We're being force fed a little Philly cock, but other than that, a lot to work. And listen, shout out to Dallas for that upset. Or I guess it's not an upset because they're technically the 4 seed, but without Luka, that feels like a bigger win. So hopefully they can jettison the fraud ass Jazz and.
I mean, now that you split it, I'm almost like, do you just let them sit Luka another game?
Yeah, I agree with that. Let Luka come back. But then again, will he really be healthy? I don't think so.
Probably.
So if he never really fully gets healthy, then it's like just bring him back as much as you can and see what he can do. But you hate to see that. It does suck because with Luka would be padding it. That's the other problem with Luka. He feels bad. What do you think Luka would have fucking had? Brunson had 41. Imagine how bad Luka carves these fucking losers up. Anyway, Jalen, we'll see you next year on opening day here.
I think he'll be
as a Knick.
Why wouldn't he come to the Knicks?
Why not? Leon, if you're listening, and we know you are, Leon Rose listens to every episode. Throw the fucking bag
He's
at this
a good
guy.
player, dude.
I love him. And he's a little stout point guard, some of my favorites. Anyway. Folks, it's fucking almost 1 a.m. here. I've had a hilarious travel day. We recapped it for you.
Yeah,
I'm sober for the first time in 48
hours.
I got
3 hours of sleep, brother.
Yep. Sammy got 3 hours of fucking sleep. We're rallying for you though, so that you get your fucking Pod Don't Lies after darks. And we love you, and we will be back with a Patreon later in the week. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
They talk about us.